What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/entitled parents. This story's called, "You Will Hold My Sons. I don't care if you're pregnant. I will get you fired if you don't." Glad I found out about this subreddit because I have a chronicle of stories about the most ignorant and entitled woman that is the mother of 2 twin boys that are students in my preschool classroom. But first and foremost, I want to share the story about our first interaction. I was about 5 months pregnant when the boys were first starting up in my classroom. The age range of the kids in my classroom range from 3 years old to 5, and these boys were freshly 3. Usually when starting off new kids into the classroom, we like to talk to the parents and let them know about our classroom rules, our goals and activities in the classroom, and get to know a little bit about the kids and how we can transition them appropriately into the classroom setting, especially since these kids were on the younger end of the class. However, when this mother came in to drop her boys off, they were in each of her arms, and she was talking into her phone that was in her ear being supported by her shoulder. I tried to introduce myself and give her a proper runaround, but she dropped them out of her arms as soon as she could, tossed me a backpack, and speed walked right out of my classroom, gabbing away on her cell phone all while I was trying to talk to her. Okay, I thought. I checked the backpack, expecting to see spare clothes and sheets and blankets for rest time, but no, there was none of that in there. Instead, it was a boatload of binkies, baby food, and several bottles with a sticky note attached saying, "Feed every 3 hours. This is a preschool where we teach kids the alphabet and numbers, not a nursery. We cannot and do not have the time of day in our classroom routine to drop everything and nurse not 1, but 2 boys. We have a scheduled lunchtime. Did she even read the handbook?" As soon as the mother put these 2 boys down, they started screaming bloody murder and throwing a massive tantrum. One twin even got so mad and upset that he started scratching his face. During circle time, these kids could not even settle or soothe themselves, which is kinda important for preschool children. Instead, one of the twins started kicking the other kids around him because he was upset. My co-teacher and I were trying everything we could to make these kids feel more at home. I had my partner sit next to them. I knelt down on their level and offered to play, but none of that seemed to work. We gave back rubs and offered hugs. Nope. That's when one of the twins mimicked up, up, up with his hands. My co-teacher lifted him just out of curiosity, and all the tears magically went away, and he started smiling and laughing. We were both stunned, as this wasn't a baby, but a 3-year-old child. She put him down after a minute of being held, and he threw a fit. And when I say a fit, I mean full-on kicking my co-teacher and screaming, "No, no, no, no!" I'm sorry, but it's extraordinarily difficult to maintain a classroom of 18 kids while holding and coddling one all day. Not only that, but it's not helping the child transition into a classroom setting at all, because being held all day is what he's going to expect, and the meltdowns will increasingly become worse. The day was rough, but we continued doing age-appropriate soothing techniques with him trying to transition. None worked. At the end of the school day, when we were down to just 8 kids, my co-teacher left to go home, and I was stuck with the 2 twin boys by myself, pregnant. One of the twins kept begging and begging with the up motion to be held. Now, since we were winding down and it was near pickup time, I figured this would, if any time, be the most appropriate time to pick him up just for a moment. However, when I picked him up, I feel immense pain in my hips. During my pregnancy, I had experienced something called pelvic girdle, and anyone that's ever experienced this knows exactly how painful it is not only just to walk, but to hold anything over 20 pounds because of the shift in balance with the weight. I put him down instantly as soon as I felt an extremely sharp pain in my side. This upset the child into a rage, and he started swatting and kicking me, trying to aim for my stomach. Hell no. I called out to one of the assistant teachers from another classroom to come and help, and he immediately swooped the kid up and put him in a quiet, calm down area so he would stop trying to kick my pregnant stomach. Not long after that, the mother came in the classroom to pick up her bundles of joy. She came in on her cell phone, but her face was full of rage already because she found the backpack of bottles and baby jars unconsumed. When she saw her kid crying, that was the final straw. "What the hell is going on? What is this?" She took the cell phone out of her ear and didn't even hang up and stuck it in her sweatshirt pocket. It's been a very
I don't care what it's been. I'll tell you what. I never want to walk into a classroom and see my son crying like that ever again.
I am sorry. I simply cannot hold him all day. That's why he's frustrated. We are trying to transition. We can rub backs and give hugs. Her face was literally fuming red.
I do not care. I do not care. You will hold my sons.
I'm sorry, but we simply cannot. I have 18 other children in the classroom.
I pay top dollar for this school.
Not true. She's on a voucher.
I don't care about the other 18 children, blah, blah. My sons will be held whether you want to or not. When they cry, it is your job to pick them up. It is literally your job.
No. My job is to teach kids and help them learn moral lessons and prepare them to learn to read and write, not to hold some lady's temperamental kids all day. I almost wanted to say, hire a nanny then, but I kept my mouth shut. After all, I still had 6 other kids in the classroom with me. The assistant was doing everything he could to keep the other kids distracted with some coloring activity while this mother was in a fury.
I take it you don't know who I am, because if you did, you clearly would be doing everything I say right now, or so God help you. I know a lot of people in this town and could easily destroy your life. I am a mama bear and I bite.
Actual word for word what she said. No, I have never been one for confrontation. I've always actually been afraid of it, and I actually consider myself to be a people pleaser, but this lady had me shaking. I have dealt with difficult parents before, but she was just rude and entitled, and I was pregnant with pain in my hips and hormones going berserk. And she was clearly not listening to anything I had to say. Not only that, but it sounded like she was threatening me, so I broke. I know who you are, and I really do not care. I couldn't even believe I said that to her. I know it was very unprofessional as a teacher, but I was not gonna let her and her kids trample all over me. It felt kinda good to stand my ground to this absolute bench. When you never stand your ground, it feels good when you finally do.
What did you say? Oh, I am all frickin' done. Where is your boss? We are gonna have a long talk about this. She knows I mean business. This is simply unacceptable.
Lady? Seriously? She thinks she is the most important person in town because she has twins and manages a dinky shop. And not to mention, her dinky shop has 40 out of 43 reviews at 1 star on her Yelp page for a horrid customer service. The lady is literally a walking 1-star review, and she's telling me how to do my job, which I went to college for. After that, she stormed out of my classroom, screaming obscenities and carrying her 2 brats out of the classroom. Since my boss/director was on vacation that week due to a funeral, she started screaming and complaining to random teachers in other classrooms, swearing up and down about how I need to be fired since I won't obey her commands and put her kids' needs in front of everyone else's needs. One of the teachers intervened, telling her she needed to calm down and they will handle it in the morning, and she told them to shut the hell up or I'll get you fired too. Plot twist. None of us were fired. Shocker. When my boss returned, we had a meeting in her office about the incident because the entitled mother made up a whole drama of what happened and was calling a lot of higher-ups, complaining and demanding for my resignation. My boss said, even though I should have not said, I know who you are and I don't care, I handled everything the way I was supposed to, and that I am not expected as a teacher to hold her kids all day and at the drop of a hat to feed them bottles, and I do not have to fear losing my job, and that if she ever threatens me again, to her and she'll take care of the gray mom. The kids are still students in my classroom, and they are nightmarish brats, and the mother still whines and causes extreme drama over everything. I have so many more stories about this lady, as she is the epitome of an entitled mother. I cannot wait for the day these kids are no longer students in my classroom so I can say goodbye forever to this mother. Thank God for maternity leave right now. Okay, first, yeah, little kids can be annoying, but in this case, it is obviously not their fault. That mother is 100% to blame, and I think, and in cases like this, I feel like, childcare professionals should be able to refer a parent to a mandatory parenting class, because that crap is ridiculous and horrible for a child's brain development, if I'm not mistaken. To treat them like an infant up until 3 years old, like, their social skills are obviously horrible, and yeah, 3 years old, you don't have have much of a sense of consequence, but seriously? But definitely, please post more stories because that is, like she said, the epitome of an entitled mother. Oh, and happy maternity leave. This story's called Entitled Mother Tries to Get Me Kicked Out of My Flat. First, I'm German, and English isn't my first language, so I'm sorry in advance for any form of grammatical or spelling mistakes. I haven't paid attention in my English lessons at school at all, and always did self-education for this language, and I'm still learning. Anyways, on to my story. My mother passed away 2 years ago, and I lived together with my stepdad and my elder brother in our old flat, and I decided since I wanted to have some time to myself to take care of my personal problems and interests, that I'll move out and rent my very first own flat. In about 2 months, my girlfriend will move into my flat as well, which I'm very excited about. My girlfriend was helping me to move the boxes and furniture into the new flat and slept there for 2 days. I'm living officially in my own flat since the 1st of January, but we moved the furniture at the 4th of January. It was a Saturday. We told every neighbor that it might be possible that it could be a bit louder due to moving furniture, and everyone understood and thanked us for letting them know about it. Except Entitled Mother that was pretty pissed about it. To the cast. Me?
Girlfriend. Entitled Mom.
Nice neighbor. House Lord. Alright, we got everything out of the car.
Seems like it, but even though the neighbors said that it was fine, that it's becoming louder, we should avoid making any unnecessary noises.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, have you noticed Entitled Mom? She doesn't seem very friendly.
I haven't seen her, but let's get back to work. We're almost done. Now, it's just building up the shelves in your bed and putting everything in place.
Well, then don't let us waste any more time here. Let's do it. We got everything in place, built up the shelf, and even had the time to get all the decorations where we thought they would look good. And then there was a loud knocking on the door. I opened the door. Oh, it's you, Ms. Entitled Mom. How can I help you?
Can you finally stop making so much noise? Do you even know how rude it is to be so loud at this time?
It was 4 p.m., so I don't know what her problem was.
If you keep on being this loud, I will make sure you get kicked out.
Sorry if we were too loud in your opinion, but we told everyone in the house that it will be a bit noisy for about 2 hours.
Do I look like I give a damn about that, huh? Just be quiet and don't talk back at me.
How about you calm down for a second? I mean, after all, I bet you weren't the quietest while moving here too, so you should think before you say something like that. Entitled Mom didn't like that at all.
Shut up, you stupid brat! I have 2 kids and both of them are sleeping. Do you know how happy I was that I finally had some silence?
I can imagine that it is stressful to have children, but she interrupts me.
Just be quiet, god freaking damn it!
Nice neighbor joins in. What's going on here? Don't worry, she's angry because apparently I was too loud for her. I apologized and she doesn't want to accept it.
You didn't do crap. You told me to step off and you were extremely rude to me. I've had enough of this. I'm getting the house lord to kick you out.
Don't worry, the house lord is a very close friend of mine. He won't kick you out because of her. She's just very rude in general and thinks she deserves some special treatment because she has 2 kids. And also, I've heard everything, so I'll support you. Oh, thanks for that. About 3 minutes later, Entitled Mom comes back with the house lord and starts lying the blue from the sky.
This is the butthole that tried to hit me just because I asked him kindly to be a bit quieter.
Yes, she said that. Now, hold on, Miss Entitled Mom. This guy didn't do anything wrong. He just moved in and told everyone that it might become a little bit louder, and to be honest, he wasn't very loud at all. You were the one yelling and being rude. And also, when did he exactly try to hit you? My girlfriend is basically just standing there next to me the entire time, watching the whole argument because she is quite shy. So you said that he was too loud, Ms. Entitled Mom. Entitled Mother interrupts him.
Yes, and he should be kicked out right now.
Are you done now, Miss Entitled Mom? I'm getting tired of this. If you can't accept my apology, that's fine, but just get over it already.
How dare you still talk back to me like that? I'm an adult and you have no right to treat me like that.
Yeah, whatever. You also don't have the right to lie about this entire situation and treat me like you did, but that's fine, right? Because I'm young and you know everything better, right? Just get back into your flat and leave me alone. Good point. Ms. Entitled Mom, I would ask you to do so just as Mr. My last name told you, and we all forget about it, okay? Entitled Mom, visibly annoyed and angry.
We aren't done yet.
Whatever you say. I then invited Mr. Nice Neighbor and Mr. House Lord to a coffee as a little compensation, and we talked for a bit. What a nice, warm welcome. And by warm, I mean extremely excruciatingly hot because that woman is obviously hellspawn. Also, my German peeps, or peeps who have been to Germany and have been there for a bit, how polite would you say most Germans are in general? Because I know I've heard a lot of tales of people being absolute jerks in the UK, which I am willing to believe because, goodness, but how hospitable are the Germans to people invading their country this time? I'm kidding, obviously, but no, for real, how polite are Germans? Is this something of a norm there? Or is Mr. Nice Neighbor the norm? And don't be biased because you're from Germany, because I'll be the first to admit that America's actually pretty polite, in general. I mean, obviously, you're gonna run into your mean people everywhere, but especially in, like, the smaller towns, everyone's really nice. Unless you're, like, some sort of menacing minority. Just kidding again. I mean, you'd have to look pretty hard to find a whole community where everyone's hateful. I mean, there's gonna be the individuals, but that's everywhere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.